friends, welcome to another edition of Minimal Monday wrap-up number 61 this week. It's absolutely amazing. It absolutely amazes me that in the last 3 to 4 weeks, right about when I started doing these video wrap-ups, I really started noticing the quality of images submitted going through the roof, I should say. It is yet again the quality of images this week is probably the best I've seen in a very long time. So without further ado, let's start this Minimal Monday wrap-up. This week's Fav of the Day award goes to Dominique Dubier. He photographed a beautiful fence. Simplicity at its best here. Beautiful fence in foggy, snowy, conditions. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love this. I love this a lot. This is definitely something I would seek out. I'm actually looking for a fence. It's funny that Dominique posted this. I'm definitely looking for a snow fence or a wind fence like this around the prairies here. And there's a couple of other images I have in mind, but yeah, this is absolutely top-notch work, Dominique. This is fantastic. Well deserved, my friend, in my opinion. Like I said, minimalism at its best. Congratulations. The second image I'd like to feature is one by Shelly Wayson. I don't know how to pronounce this, but I think it's English. Shelly Wayson. Let's go with that. She, like I understood the post, because I kind of, some of the posts I read between the lines, so I kind of know what is going on. I confess. For me, it has to do with, has everything to do with the image. The story behind it is definitely something that is funny to read sometimes, but not necessarily has to explain the image, right? The cliche goes, without saying, your images need to tell the story and not the story behind the images. I like this for deleting lines, and again, the fog that introduces the minimal, element in this composition. The two big black leading lines, the whole pier basically contrasts against the white, the light, and then at the end of that pier, there's a couple of people, two people, presumably a couple, walking, enjoying, a morning walk maybe. It's a very metaphorical image. It can present, the path of your life, or that a path you can, you travel with your partner, a companion. It has a lot of meaning, and I like to see what I did here. I'm gonna tie that in with image number 3. Now, this is an image by Andy Lee. I like Andy's images, man. Like, it's, this image immediately popped again, like, this is a very metaphorical image to me. Now, I was, like, back home, I was raised a Christian, and not a practicing Christian, but that's what we do back home. Belgium is mostly Christian. I went to a Christian school and all that good stuff. Now coming here to Canada, or in North America in general, that being Christian has a completely different meaning than what I think of Christianity, right? Anyways, that completely aside, this image to me has a really well-defined religious undertone. And I'm gonna actually show you what image it reminded me of. Actually, not an image; it's a painting, and it is a painting by the early Belgian master Van Eyck, and the painting is a multi-piece. I don't know what the English term is for that, but here is an image, a photograph of a piece of art, and this thing is literally big. And just to give you a sense of scale, the bottom tier of images is about 5 feet tall. So this is a pretty huge, religious painting. And if you look closely in the bottom middle panel, that whole scene there, first of all, there's a lot of compositional stuff going on that I can really encourage you to study. Old the masters of painting, of architecture and stuff, because you can learn so much from just looking at this compositional, the compositional lessons you can learn from this. Beyond what any photographical book can teach you. But if you look closely on the middle bottom panel, you see the sheep and how the sun, or the representation of God, is illuminating that scene, and the angels around it, whatever it is, right? They all, the theory behind this is that that sheep is representing, Jesus, right? So going back to Andy's image, it's a sheep illuminated from, the top, from the sky, and yeah. Anyways, totally reminding me of that again. Andy's work is pretty top, is unique, I would say. It's Andy has a firm understanding of, first of all, composition, second, post-processing techniques. This is, again, beautiful, beautiful work. All right, enough religious stuff. Let's go back to our wrap-up. The fourth image I'd like to share is this one. Another awesome fence by jarcharles. My God, is this ever awesome? If this was a square, I would say this is Michael Canna. Very simple stuff. Very almost reminds me of musical notes on a bar that is floating. Yeah, this is gorgeous. I wish I could find stuff like that here. Gorgeous work, Gerard. Beautiful. All right, for the next image, let's I'll look at some desert images. Mamo del Piero submitted this exquisite desert scene. It almost looks like a veil that is placed on a table of some sort with stuff underneath, and then it's gonna get revealed. That's why it almost looks like beautiful, like gentle curves and slopes and details. And I like the deep shadows and lots of negative space over top. That really emphasizes that bottom portion of the image. Beautiful work. Here's another one of those exquisite long exposure seascapes. This time by Malte Brandenburg. Probably pronouncing your name wrong, but I'm very sorry. This is compositionally, there's like almost like two images there. You could you can do a square on the left side. That would be a perfect image. With like a few triangles on top, stacked on top of each other. The foreground crease in the sand there, and then the shoreline with the water forms a huge wedge, and then you can see the triangles here, right? It's pretty much 50-50, horizon in the middle. Malte decided to do an horizontal, 4/3 kind of composition, and by pushing all the rocks and the cliffs on one side, there's another square there, or putting the two squares together, you almost get this. You can, anyways. By pushing the whole cliff to the side, it really adds a point of interest that is placed in such a manner where it will kind of grab your attention. And I don't know, like you could have added the curve, but I mean, like it is now, it's beautifully processed. The sand is top notch, awesome. All right, here's an image by Adam Williams, and Adam uses a very similar camera than me. He uses the newer RZ67, or the RZ for you Americans, and photographing these scenes on film, it's kind of tough. It's definitely a bigger challenge than shooting this in digital. It's a beautiful photograph of a snow-covered field, and all those little pyramids that you see are basically like a cornfield or something, that has been harvested, and you get these things sticking out of the ground where the corn things grew. I don't know how to call that in English, but anyways, when it snows, they form these little triangles, and we see them all the time here on the prairies. Actually, Chris Schofield, post that image. You need to post that image that you showed me with all those triangles, so everybody can see that next week. Done. Anyways, I like this. Getting skies to do what Adam Williams, like Adam Williams rendered them. It's not as easy as it looks on film or in print. You need to burn a little, and maybe this was shot with a yellow filter or a red filter, and all that stuff needs to be, us film crazies. We need to think about how we gonna print a photograph before we even expose the photograph. There's no going back to Photoshop and play around with the black and white conversions, sliders, to see what the best representation of a certain scene would be like. No, there's all this vision stuff needs to be done in advance, and it's pretty tough to do, in my opinion. I mean, you need to have a lot of experience to kind of see a scene and immediately know, like, I need to use a red filter, yellow filter, dark orange, whatever. It's not the easiest thing to do, and that's personally the one thing I am struggling with, and I'm okay with saying that. I'm definitely not a master of photographing on film. Right, the next image I want to share with you is one by Binge Eve Randhawa. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. He I don't know where to start. He submitted this awesome, beautiful, very classic looking long exposure seascape. Remember last week? Was it last week that I told you, like, about the rule of odds, and you had to, like, look at the video that Ted Forbes had posted about that in his The Art of Photography podcast. Well, this is again a good example of this. You could argue, I kind of wish that Binge Eve had moved a little bit to the side so there was separation between the two rear rocks, or little islands, or whatever you want to call them. But there's definitely 3 subjects there, and 3 is an awesome number, right? To keep that in mind, if you see 3s or 5s or 7s or something odd, it's going to produce a good photograph. Or not automatically, obviously, but the chances are that you will come back with something unique. Again, I mean, exposure is bang on. Processing is really good. I love that there's still detail in the rocks, because you could have rendered just as black blobs, but luckily you didn't. And even just that foreground ripple in the water in the left corner there adds a nice detail, that I really like. Beautiful work, Binge Eve. All right, next image. I want to share this very interesting image by Gail. And I enjoyed looking at this image because, yeah, that little boat or fishing thing, whatever, really pops. Like, I mean, that is what makes the image, right? And it is placed on the leading line. So, I mean, that is really good. And Guy saw this, and he made sure that the leading line started out of a corner, which is basically, I mean, I like doing that too. Compositionally, it kind of anchors it in a point where you tell your viewer, as photographer, yeah, I saw this, and I specifically placed this leading line in the corner, so you would know that this was not accidental, right? Cool image. I like this. Long exposure. I like the movement in the clouds. I like the sense of light as well. The illuminating, the light that is bouncing off the back mountain or hill, or yeah, it really has a sense of light. Although this is a very dark image. Really good work, Guy. Good job, my friend. Alright, I have 5 more images to share with you. The last one that I want to share with you is this one. This will be the last one for this week. This image is by Giancarlo. I need to get my Italian on. Giancarlo Barberini. That was good, right? A really neat image of a pier that appears to be, just floating, on the water almost. There was a bird, there's a lot of subtle movements in this. Well, a lot. I mean, you have the bird and the sky, obviously. And Giancarlo actually, before he posted this one, he added another image where the sky was less dark. It was white. But this image is better than the other. And I like the water as well, because that gives you, that's, again, a sense of light. The sense of light is big in this photograph, and I like that. In my opinion, good black and white photography needs a solid white point and a solid black point, and of course everything in between, and this image has this. This is really good work, Giancarlo. Thank you for entering Minimal Monday. I believe this was your first time. Alright, I have 2 not so minimal images to share with you. The first one is this one by Ed King. Again, this is really exquisite black and white photography. Before I would start, I would suggest Ed straighten that horizon, because this is a very high quality image, but I feel the horizon line is kind of, tipping to the right a little bit. If you straighten that, it's going to be, that's going to be a portfolio piece for sure. Beautiful piece of ice on a beautiful beach. That's a lot of beautifuls, but that is beautifully post-processed. There's really nice detail in the sand, and Ed accentuated a little bit in, a piece of sand in the middle there, and I like that. It's not a super long exposure. I would almost say a couple seconds, maybe a little bit more, because there's a fair amount of detail in the water or in the ice. It would be ice, right? So maybe this is a long exposure. Thinking of it now, I don't know. I need to read the post. I like this a lot. Again, there's that sense of light in this photograph. There's that, the backlit, almost backlit conditions, and that ice really, pops off that sand. Really neat image. Beautiful work, Ed. Thanks for adding this. And here's a not so minimal image by Cedar. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you is because this is a very well seen. Again, sense of light. The whole trees are getting. I believe Jan said this was an infrared, but still you get that sense of light. All those leaves glow, and that's awesome. I like this a lot. But also, I talked to you about triangles. And there's two triangles in this, one on the bottom and one at the top. And Jens saw this, and he, emphasized the symmetry of this. And, repeating shapes is something that is, it's a little trick, to making images interesting. And this is definitely one of my favorite images by Jens. It also has a beautiful tone to it, and a beautiful little subtle sky too. I like that. Good job, Jens. Dude. All right, 2 more exceptions to go. These are not landscapes, but I love them nonetheless. The first one is a very minimal photograph by Hugo Say. I don't know what this is. Probably part of some statue or something. But again, triangles. Very important in the composition. And this could be one of those images where I ask you, how many triangles do you see? It's just the whole line aspect of this photograph, is really great. The way Hugo, positioned it. It's gonna be probably, it's gonna be angled, but you could have, started the spike in a corner, or by doing it this way, using the rule of thirds a little bit on the bottom. I like this a lot. This is a very balanced image, and also the light again. The sky is interesting, and the fact that this image is completely in shades of blue makes for a very graphical, a very interesting image. Beautiful work, Hugo. Thank you for sharing. And the last image is another one of those architectural details, almost, by Graupner, and he photographed this out of his I believe he's at his office window. And a lot of people would say like, "Whoa, is that your view?" That's pretty sad. But I mean, what I'm seeing is a scene that can be photographed almost year round, and do a whole series about these things. About this roof line. I mean, I believe there's snow on this roof, or this angle, whatever it is, and again, this is minimalism at its best, in my opinion. I would definitely, Daniel, I see a series in this. A series of maybe, photographs from looking out of your office window. Or I don't know, like alternative compositions on this scene, or whatever you can do with this roofline. This is absolutely wicked stuff. And again, I mean, I'd like to thank every single one of you, and I do know that I'm leaving out a lot of images this week, and most of them by people that are regular contributors to the theme. I'm very sorry, but I can only share as much images as I can, and without making these videos like 16 hours long, although some of you would definitely like that. But I believe keeping them around half an hour is more than long enough. And again, thank you all so very much for making this little theme. Every week it seems like it is expanding, and I just simply hope it doesn't come to a point where I can't handle it anymore. I mean, volume-wise, and because even now I'm almost afraid that I'm missing images, and I really like to look at everything, and I have one of these, right? So every single image that gets posted using Minimal Monday hashtag, and more importantly my name, I get a message, and I really review every single one of your images. So it takes some time, but I love doing it, and I'd like to thank you all very, very, very much for believing in this little theme. Alright, that was it for this week. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for contributing. And if you want to contribute next week, I'm looking for minimal landscape photography. It doesn't have to be black and white. It can be color. I'm not discriminatory to color. I'm not discriminating anybody. I like to see good landscape photography, minimalism. If you think you have a special image that is not landscape orientated, do post it, because I'll look at it, and maybe I'll feature it in, as an exception. Who knows? All right. If you do so, like I said, use the hashtag, use a hashtag and plus me in the post. All right. Sweet. See you all next week.